Chung, 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 chung. You got 6 40 Mike HE rounds coming at you. That's not a good day. I'm an American, so I'm gonna have an AR-15. AR stands for Armalite 15, but really it should stand for America's Rifle. A very, very devastating weapon. I would not want to walk into a room where someone was pointing one of those at me. Hi folks, I'm Paul Meixner. I'm a filmmaker, weapons and tactics instructor, currently working as a firearms instructor at Modern Warriors Nashville. Today, we're gonna go over some realistic shooter games, and I'm gonna share from my experience whether or not I think it's realistic. Let's get at it. The VSK, these are newer firearms. The war in Ukraine and Russia, we're starting to see a lot more from them. This one is like a sniper variant, but it's not super long range. It's more for like urban combat. Shoots a big fat 9mm bullet. Big old chonky boy. The SVT-40. Looks like a semi-auto rifle. I believe this is one of the first Russian semi-auto rifles. Yep, rocking magazines, probably shooting 7.62 by 5.4 Russian. Yeah, they're cool. They were made in around the World War II era. 15. All right, so this is just a Gucci AR-15. That reticle looks pretty realistic. Is that a prism sight? Cool. Yeah, standard AR-15. I'm a big fan. I have a few of them. So this is just another AR-15 with wooden furniture. Put the mag in. Now what you really should do is when you're loading the magazine, you should push pull to make sure that it's seated, and then you come up and hit the bolt release. But yeah, not bad. The P226. So this is a double action. Double action means the trigger does two things. That means it both cocks and drops the hammer. There's a decocker near the grip, which is not only fun to say, but it decocks the hammer, safely lowering the hammer, extending the trigger, again, making it harder to pull the trigger the first time. Those are super reliable firearms. I'm not a fan of double action. I prefer single action or striker. SEALs use them, so that's cool, right? All right, the Ash 12. This is like a newer Russian CQB weapon that shoots a 12mm bullet. I don't off the top of my head know the exact specifications, but it's like 12 point something millimeter. I'm not a big Bullpup guy myself, but that's a good rifle. All right, the AUG. I have a bit of experience. I've been experienced with most Bullpups, but I think the AUG is my favorite, even though the controls are a little old school. We're talking crossbolt safety and whatnot. These are probably the most accurate Bullpups. So what's cool is you can do quick barrel changes. So you can put a heavier barrel on it or a shorter barrel. All right, I have a bone to pick with this rifle. This is a good rifle. It's a 6.8 277 Fury. They want to replace all the riflemen in the military of this, and I think that's a terrible idea because it shoots a big ass bullet. There's a lot more weight to it. There's like 100 and something grain bullet as opposed to a 55 to 72 grain bullet. Traveling at the same speed, that means you have a lot more chamber pressure. It also means you can't carry as much ammunition. They want to keep the standard infantry load at 7 mags. Well, now you have 7 mags of 20 rounds of heavy bullets as opposed to 7 mags of 30 rounds. For a designated marksman, that's a great rifle. For your standard foot soldier, no. Just keep on with 5.56 until the ray guns come out. The TLE 1911. Now this thing's interesting. I do not care for the sights on the back because you can't rack it on your belt. I don't like those like no-back style sights. Other than that, looks cool. It's got the standard checker grip, really pronounced serrations to rack it. That's cool. I carried a 1911 personally for almost 20 years before I slowly graduated to good old 2011. I don't know what a TPL is, so let's see what this thing is. I have no idea what this is. I've never seen this thing before. I'm gonna hope that it's make-believe. I don't know. It kind of looks a little bit like the HK. Kind of looks like the fancy little HK that Naval Special Warfare uses, but I don't know. The LeVar. All right, this looks like an MCX. Those things are cool. They're made by SIG. It's not the same type of operating system as an AR-15. It doesn't have the buffer tube in the back, so it has a folding stock. You can shoot it with the stock closed. They're pretty reliable. They're decent guns, and that one looked very real. The F90. Is this the F2000? This is some kind of Bullpup. This might be the fish gun. That might be the F2000. Not totally certain. Those look like the Magpul metal backup sights in the back, though. Man, let me know in the comments when I'm getting wrong on that thing. Looks like the Beretta Bullpup. All right, the MCX. So this is kind of like the Spear rifle. Got that much bigger, chonkier handguard up front. And again, you don't need a butt stock to shoot this thing, where the AR-15 that most people are familiar with, you actually have all your recoil system, buffering system inside of that. The UMP-9. The UMP in 9mm. They might make, I wasn't aware, they probably make it in 9mm. I'd rather have an MP5. They're cool, they're reliable, but the triggers are kind of clunky, the controls are kind of clunky. They look really cool, but yeah, not my thing. The Supernova. All right, so this is a Benelli shotgun, the Benelli Supernova. Those are great shotguns. It looks just like a Benelli Supernova. Unfortunately, there's not a lot of aftermarket furniture for it like there is for the 870s and the 590s. Putting the light on it or changing out the grip isn't, you know, as easy to do. But we got that rail on it. We throw a red dot on it. You got the ghost rings. This is a great shotgun. It's a great pump shotgun. All right, now we're going to be checking out footage from Squad. MP5A3. Yeah, it's got that angled foregrip. Well, that's foregrip. Angled handguard up front. Yeah, this is a classic configuration. Yeah, these are great. Super soft shooters. Now that recoil to me looked realistic in the game. Yeah, you got the HK slap. That's how you get it back into action, back in the battery. All right, the M14. These are cool though, and they are effective for what they are. This is its granddaddy. Having a full auto gun like this creates a pivot point that's really, yeah, it's really hard to shoot those things full auto, where when you have an AR-15 style rifle, where it comes straight back, it's not going to want, I mean, it's going to want to rise, but it's not going to want to rise as bad as having that lower pivot point. HK416, controversial opinion, they're not as cool as made out to be. I've run my Bravo Company manufacturing AR like nobody's business, run all sorts of ammo through it. I've never had a problem with it. I just keep it lubed. I understand the point of piston-driven guns, but this one in particular didn't really need to exist, and I think the government's paying too much money for them. The butt stock is awesome, though. That's my favorite butt stock. There's no QD mount. There's no QD mount for a sling, and so I think it's silly. It's the AK-101, the newest AK variant of rifle. They seem very effective. I don't think I've shot one of these yet, but you can, if you try hard, get a hold of them here in the United States. Basically, the Ruski's version of R556. That one looks like it's shooting the 5.45, is it? Yeah. All right, the Mini-Me. Yeah, so the Mini-Me, I have quite a bit of experience with this. So if you've ever heard of the Saw, that was based off of the Belgian Mini-Me. U.S. military said, hey, we want a couple modifications. We want it to be able to take a box magazine, like a standard M4 magazine, just in case of emergencies. So they made those modifications. And there it is. I love the Saw. I've got a lot of experience. I used to do raids with the Saw. I used to do all sorts of patrolling. So I carried that thing like it was an M4, but I'm a big boy and it was a bigger boy back then. If you take care of it and if you do the scheduled maintenance on it, it's a reliable firearm. Now, a lot of my Marine friends, if they weren't in recon, if they were just in line units, they hated that thing. And I think the Marines sometimes get the short end of the stick and they get kind of crappier, more beat up equipment. But I never had a problem with mine, but I also cleaned it every single day. Oh, this thing's cool. There's a couple different companies that make this. I actually don't even recognize this particular one. When you shoot these things, they're heavy and there's not a ton of powder behind them, so gravity's affecting them sooner, more so than like a super fast moving round. So you have to arc it, right? And so that optic has like kind of you put it where you want the range at, and then it goes. What these are very effective for is using CS gas or something like that, or if you want to run HE rounds for initiating ambushes. The enemy element comes in and just chung 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 chung. You got 6 40 mic HE rounds coming at you. That's not a good day. All right, the Mark 19. This is a fully automatic, belt-fed 40mm grenade launcher. You know, a weird thing about this too is the barrel reciprocates slightly. It's not a fixed barrel. It'll move a little bit back and forth, and that helps with dispersion. This is an area target weapon system. I was very effective with this thing. They're tons of fun. They sound kind of crazy shooting. Yeah, these things are neat. This looks very realistic. Well, for the most part. Yep, slap that thing down there and... Alright, so Glock 19. Glocks are cool, man. I'm not a big Glock guy because I think there's stuff better, at least for me, out there. But if you want the quintessential, reliable striker-fired gun, get a Glock. There's a joke. People will buy like a $500 Glock and dump $1,200 in it to make it less reliable. The SR762. So this is a very high-end AR-10. No, it's not. This has got a side charger. Yeah, see that? See that side charger? Okay, cool. Well, I'm gonna, you know, get beat up in the comments on that one. Look cool. The M4. A little bit of experience with these things. They're great. Is there better stuff out there? Yeah, but I'm an American, so I'm gonna have an AR-15 M4 variant. You know, AR stands for Armalite 15, but really it should stand for America's Rifle. Yeah, the Chinese have those. I'm sure a couple other countries do. It's just an AK. I can't tell if this is 9. That looks like it's 9mm. So that's a helical magazine. I've seen them on actual 7.62 AKs as well. So it's loaded in like a helix pattern, and as you shoot, you just basically like a big drum magazine with like a spiral staircase on the inside. Uzis. When I lived in Los Angeles, I had this super hippie neighbor, but she carried an Uzi in the Israeli defense. Israel has compulsory service. I just can't picture her doing this at all. Yeah, they're cool little machine pistols. The SKS. Oh man, not that long ago you could buy these for $100. Some people argue they're better than the AK. That's definitely a discussion to be had. I have both shot and been shot at by SKSs, and they are awesome rifles. The FAL. Many people say this should have been the M14 instead of the M14. Oh, the game physics on this is interesting. There was one battle where 2 opposing countries were both using the FAL because they were both issued it. Let's see what kind of sawed-off shotgun this is. All right, yep, just a standard double-barrel sawed-off shotgun. Very, very devastating weapon. Doesn't actually take that long to reload. I would not want to walk into a room where someone was pointing one of those at me. That was a lot of stuff in a very, very compact sort of time. What was your favorite? Mine is definitely the saw. That might be kind of lame, but I am a big, big, big fan of that thing because I've run it a lot. There was a bunch of good stuff in here. I wish I knew everything about them, but there was a couple that I definitely, you know, need you guys in the comments to let me know what I missed. All right, so folks, I want to know what you think. Most of these look super realistic. I think the game Ready or Not was the game that I didn't recognize everything in it, or I might have gotten a couple things wrong. Most everything looked realistic and very familiar. So I want to hear what you guys have to think. I always read the comments. All right, folks, thank you so much for your time. If you want to hear more from me, check me out at Thunderpunk Radio on YouTube. If you'd ever like to take a lesson from me, check out Modern Warriors in Nashville. And on that note, I hope you all have a wonderful day. Until next time.